All eyes here in Middle Tennessee are going to be on the 5th Congressional District, the primary, of course, where incumbent Andy Ogles faces Charlie Hatcher. Redrawn congressional maps added rural farm towns. It's a move Hatcher's campaign believed would give him the edge. But as investigative reporter Stacey Cameron shows us, the early voting totals are still showing that this race could be decided in the suburbs.
That's absolutely correct. It is really tightening up, and Hatcher's game plan is pretty clear. The former state agricultural commissioner is leaning hard on his farming roots.
His team says new rural counties make Hatcher the perfect fit over Ogles, who first won the seat 4 years ago. But the early vote numbers tell a different story. Take a look. Early voting has exploded since the last primary, but the surge isn't in rural areas. It's in the Nashville suburbs. Republican early turnout is up 80% in Wilson County, 41% in Williamson, and 37% in Rutherford. But meanwhile, rural Murray County, Hatcher's home turf, is up just 6%. So, if these early voting numbers are tea leaves, the message is clear. Hatcher can't rely on running up the score in farm country alone. He must win over places like Williamson and Wilson counties to offset the suburban surge closer to Nashville.
And right now, polls show a dead heat in this race, making turnout tomorrow everything. It's a high-stakes contest where even President Donald Trump has backed Ogles, but outside groups poured millions into boost Hatcher's campaign. We'll track the returns as they come in tomorrow night. In the studio, I'm WSMV4 investigative reporter Stacey.